Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, giving infinite praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, V'chakudash. Giving double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Shalom, and salutation to all you sincere Akim across the four winds, pushing this truth with sincerity of heart. I'm your fellow servant, Kasama God from the DC camp, coming at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, V'chakudash, for the elect. So now in this lesson, we're going to have to go into a topic, of course. I mean, once in a while, the spirit jumps, and you gotta talk about the other side, man. When I mean the other side, I'm talking about our counterpart, gender-wise, the women, basically. So, it's a topic. Sometimes it's sensitive. It's sensitive to the sensitive, but if you have experience, you already know what it is. If you don't, then you have to be taught. And basically, it was this article that I read, and I just wanted to share with y'all brothers, man. Because you still got jakes out there, man, that still struggle with women. And this is really for the hopeful elect, the men of the nation of Israel that still struggle to understand women. It's sad, but then again, it's understandable because part of being a man in general, part of being a man is understanding women so you can overcome their nature. And once you're able to overcome their nature, then you can really focus on your mission. A lot of times men are not, men fall out or get destroyed because they don't understand the nature of a woman, and they kind of get sidetracked and out of the mission, the focus, the duty, which we know our duty, spiritually, is to serve Yahushua. It's to preach this word, dedicate our life to the gospel, to the brotherhood, right? And as a man, you want a woman sometimes, man, and women come and go, but you will realize if you have experience and you really are sincere and you look at your life, you will realize, man, a good part, I probably said 70, 60, 70, depending on how many times you deal with women, how often you deal with women throughout the years or seasons, you will realize, man, the majority of your trials, especially like the trials that last longer, usually comes from, dealing with women, man. So now, without further ado, man, let's get into this. Now, this is The Guardian. This has to do with World War II. All right, this is when the Germans basically invaded France back in 1944. And as you see right here, there's a picture. There's a picture of a French woman getting her head shaved, which we know that's a shameful thing when a woman shaves her head bald. All right, we know that that's something that you do to humble a woman. So you wanna find out why her head was being shaved? Well, let's read. It says, this is The Guardian. It says, an ugly carnival. All right. It says, as we mark the 65th anniversary of the D-Day landings, Anthony Beaver describes a dark side of the liberation parties. The brutal head shaving and beating of women accused of collaboration. It says the 65th anniversary of the D-Day landings this week is an occasion to revisit joyful pictures of the liberation of France in 1944. But among the cheering images, there are also shocking ones. Well, first we have to establish that Hitler, all right, Adolf Hitler, was financially sponsored by the Rothschilds. And on the flip side, Winston Churchill and in this case with the French, Charles de Gaulle, they were also financially sponsored by the Rothschilds. So the Rothschilds sponsored both Hitler, and on the flip side, they also sponsored Winston Churchill and Charles de Gaulle. And the order was given to Charles de Gaulle by the Rothschild to stand down to allow Hitler and the SS troops to basically march into France, Paris, France. All right, so that's the part of history that you're not taught about, is that the French actually stood down when Charles de Gaulle gave an order got the order from the Rothschild. So again, how do I know this? Let's just say some of us do deeper research. I'll just put it down like that. So now it says, but among the cheering images, they are also shocking ones. These show the fate of women accused of collaboration horizontal. All right. It says it is impossible to forget Robert Copper's fallen Madonna image of a shaven-headed young woman cradling her baby, implicitly the result of a relationship with a German soldier. Now, why? Because the thing is, let me go back to this image right quick, man, because, see, you have to understand the nature of women, and we talk about it. I mean, at this point, it's the end of the world, right? It's the end of Esau's age. Esau, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. So at the end of the world, man, everything is being exposed, and so is the secret when it comes to women. I mean, this is something that has been hard on men. I mean, men have had a hard time, not only understanding women but accepting women's nature, right? So even men like Solomon struggled. That's why Solomon, towards the latter part, the second half of his rulership, he fell off because of the women. So a lot of, you have David. David basically got caught out there with a woman, and he almost got put, because according to the law, he should have been put to death, right? But the Heavenly Father had mercy on him. So it's very critical to understand women, and once you understand women, then you have to accept their nature for what it is, and then you just move accordingly. All right, you got to throw away all that Disney Channel garbage, brainwashing that Esau put in your head since you was a child, as a young man, letting you know, telling you that women are just angels. Right now, as you see, these are images of. Let me just go to images, man. Like, this is crazy. So, as the Germans, so mind you, the Frenchmen, right? The Frenchmen had went to war against the German soldiers, and the SS troop, they were super Aryans, like crazy soldiers on meth. Those guys was wild, right? So the women stayed back. So when the French soldiers basically lost the war, or lost a big part of France, what happened to the French women? Well, the French soldiers that lost got put to death. Some of them were, arrested and were made as prisoners, but most of them were put to death. But the French women, a lot of the French women, ended up basically sleeping with the enemy. Like, I'm gonna show you images. This is who women are. Look at this dude right here. This dude has a Nazi sign, and this is actually in France. This dude has a Nazi sign, and he's having a blast and a ball with a French woman. Prior to him actually invading that land, that woman most likely had a French man. But now that the French men have lost the war, guess what she's doing? Now she's down with the Germans. She's down with the SS, right? So you have all these images right here. Now, these are images when France was able to take back the land. Then they basically found a lot of those females, those women, and shaved their head to put them to shame for treason. So you see right here, you got that image. Look at this right here, man. This, you got in the backdrop, you have the Eiffel Tower. And you have a French woman. She doesn't look sad. They just got invaded. All those men that you see walking up and down, these are German soldiers. Like on the far back, on the right-hand side, there's a German soldier with a French woman, because these are occupied territory by the Germans. So this French woman is having a blast with the enemy, with a man who's killed multiple French men. So I say all of this to say that it's not like women, their nature is survival. Women kind of just go with the winner. Like, even here in the United States, you got feminism and all this garbage. But that's because the Edomite man has basically set up feminism, and the woman is going to do that because it helps her be liberated. But the woman is always going to, submit to the new conqueror that's going to subjugate her. So that's why you don't have to be angry at what's going on. Look at Hitler. He just chilling in France, right, with all their soldiers, and they were getting all the French women. So there was no loyalty. You know, when you talking about women being loyal, you know, even our Israelite women doing slavery, we put the image, our Israelite women doing slavery, right? You know, beginning with the so-called black women from the tribe of Judah, so-called African-American woman, tribe of Benjamin, so-called West Indian woman, tribe of Levi, so-called Haitian women. A lot of this bedouin stuff was going on. When you had Master on the right-hand side, Master was whooping your ass. Guess what? Your woman, your loyal sister, your loyal sister didn't want nothing to do with that. Women don't like to lose. Women go with the winner. Now, do you blame them? I mean, all women do this. And that's the point. Also, the point of this video is that it's not just the Israelite woman who's a traitor to her nation. Every woman will betray her nation if her man loses the war. So when she understands that, you're like, okay, cool. Until Edom Esau is taken down and, you know, through Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shai, until Yahweh Shai returns and takes down Esau, and we get to have open executions of Edomites. Like, you know, our women have to see Esau, the so-called white man, head roll and with no consequences. Then they'll, you know, the ones who do remain and are alive, because the majority of women in general and the majority of Israelite women are going to perish here in the Great Babylon, right? Babylon the Great. But the rest of the women that do survive, once they see Esau's power go down and they see his head roll with no consequences, because that's the main important thing. It's not necessarily that you got to, you know, taking down Esau because, you know, physically you could take down the Edomite or whatever, but there will be consequences. There's a whole system, there's a whole government that will come down on you like a hammer. But once Edom Esau's taken down as in masses, and our women see the blood, the guts, and the heads roll with no consequences after, that's when the Israelite women, is mind and heart is going to be cleansed from her current state. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that, so you don't really waste your time trying to, because you got Jake, you know, you got Jake still out here, man, you know, and I'm talking about the hopeful elect, you know, because the love that we have for women. Jake trying to tame the woman and all this other, man. You can't tame these women, man. You just gotta focus on this truth. You know, don't focus on trying to tame your woman and all that shit, man. You wasting your time, bro. Your woman is under this Edomite spell. She's under like this rebellious free spirit, and unless Edom Esau is taken out, man, she's not going to bow down to you. All right. And it goes back, of course, to this female hypergamy stuff. I mean, everybody knows it. It's to the point where even women now on social media talk about it. They talk about hypergamy and how they okay with being hypergamous, which they should. You know, women should be like that because it's part of survival, right? But when they commit adultery, and that's what it's being, you know, they're being wicked. It says female hypergamy is a social science term that refers to a woman marrying or dating a man with a higher social status or income than herself, which is nothing wrong with that. I think, you know, of course, for a woman wanting a man with high social status, you know, that's what she should. She, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, when she's leaving her man and committing adultery because she's trying to climb up and get another man, that's when, you know, she's going off. But if a maiden is out there and she's a maiden and she doesn't have a man and she's trying to seduce a man of higher status, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. She's chasing after glory. That's dope. But when you use that on the flip side, which a lot of these women are doing that, you got adultery going on all over the place, man. You got brothers in the truth, you know, and I know this without a doubt because I know the nature of women, man. I know you got brothers in the truth going through that, man. Women committing adultery. You sitting there like, oh, man, you know, you thinking, hey, man, this woman, man, I hope she realizes she really got the jackpot. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man of the Lord. I have faith. I'm doing this for us, our family. And then, man, that chick don't give a damn, bro. Because she's not linked to Yahushua the way that you're linked to Yahushua. So she doesn't really see what you see. All right? So when you see those hints, man, that she's trying to move up to what she believes is up, let her go. Cut her off and let her go. Give her a bill of divorce and let her go. All right? You're not going to go down with this broad when you know that, you know, she most likely, you know, because she out there committing adultery, man. Like, let it go, cut off. This is Micah 7:10. It says, then my enemy will see it. It says, then, oh, well, actually, that's Micah 7:10 in the NIV. I have to repeat that, because in the KJV, then it says, then she, that's my enemy, right? It says, then my enemy will see it and will be covered with shame. She who said to me, where is the Lord your power? And the thing about the Israelite women, for brothers that do have women while they're in this truth, it's not that she's going to come out and say, well, where's your Lord? She's not going to literally say, well, where's the Lord your power? Now, there's a chance that she might say that, but a lot of it has to do with actions. All right. If your woman is not submitting to you and you don't have, she's not, you don't have under subjugation, then she's basically saying, where's your Lord, your power? She doesn't believe in you. You're supposed to be her God, her protector and everything. And she's supposed to really live her life to please you. Just like you are living your life to please Yahweh Shai. Just like Yahweh Shai lives his life to please the Heavenly Father Yahweh. That's the proper order. All right. But if she's not doing that, she's basically saying it without saying that, hey, where's the Lord your power? Because in her mind and her subconscious, the true power is, it's that pale, no melanin devil, Edom Esau, the so-called white man. That's who she truly believes will bring down a hammer, and all she got to do is just, is one phone call away, and she knows it's one phone call away, and she can have your ass out here full of lead, straight up. I mean, this is the reality, right? It says, my eyes will see her downfall. It says, my eyes will see her downfall. Even now, she will be trampled underfoot like the mire in the streets, right? Because the civil war is about to kick in, as we know. Everybody's talking about it. The spirit is in the air. I mean, you got this politician that just came out. This high-level politician came out. I think he was on a podcast, and he just said, well, listen, even if Trump wins this election, we're going to implement the 14th Amendment, Section 3, and, we're going to get him out of there, and we're going to make sure we got the National Guard to stand by on, Civil War conditions to deal with the MAGA people that will rise up and against us. So this guy is basically predicting the Civil War. Now, when that happens, a lot of these systems and organizations and to protect women and children basically going to be done away with. And when society collapses, basically women and children become spoils. I mean, that's just been known throughout history. And that's when a lot of these women are going to get their judgment. It's just going to be chaotic out here. It's going to be chaotic. All right. And, the women of Israel have earned that, because when you look at this image, and I bought this image is crazy because you see that all the time. I mean, as far as I've known, I've always seen several times as Israelite women, particularly the black women, just yelling, yelling at the man. Like, as a matter of fact, I had a conversation with this Jake at my job, and his woman was just acting stupid, acting crazy. They had 2 children, and she just running shit. And, my job basically was to make sure she don't get out. Not really her, but nobody really supposed to be getting out of hand. In my job, I have to make sure, there's peace and quiet and safety. So, but I didn't even talk to her. I just went to him. I was like, dude, like, hey, listen, this is the mother of your children, right? Like, cool. I'm like, hey, man, listen, you got to get her, in control. This man, this so-called black man, this Jake, this Judite man looked at me and said, dog, I live with this woman. She controls everything, bro. She runs this ship. I'm just like, wow. But I'm like, dog, but you a man, though. Like, how can you let her do this? Like, she gonna put you in a situation where you can get killed. He's like, hey, man, I got to do what I got to do. And it was just like, wow, he just a crash dummy at this point. She's running the whole show. And that's wicked as hell. That's backwards. You know what I'm saying? And me and him, we dapped, and when he dapped me up, because he understood, because I spoke to him man to man with calm, and I wasn't on no stupid shit. I told him, man, listen, like, I got a job to do, but, like, I can't talk to her. I talk to you so you can handle that. And he's like, man, I can't do it. I was like, man, it is what it is. I might even have to call the police then. Yeah, he dapped me up. When he dapped me up, she looked and she got mad. She yelled at him, like, why the fuck you dapping him up for? So it was just crazy. She's like, man, you supposed to be out here crash, a crash dummy. You supposed to be out here fighting this dude. Y'all supposed to be killing each other basically. But since we having a conversation, a man-to-man conversation, and he dapping me up, understanding, hey, this man understands the dynamic. She mad. Bro, listen, man, that, man, sad, man. Sad. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 56. It says the most, this is the NLT, Deuteronomy 28 and 56. Matter of fact, let's start with the KJV, King James. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 56. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you. And by the way, man, his baby mama, man, she was not tender nor delicate, man. She worked around with her chin up, proud as hell, acting tough, talking shit, talking about she gonna be smacking everybody in the joint. And the more she talked, I just kept looking at him because I knew she wasn't gonna do nothing. So I'm just looking at him like, damn, she's saying all this crazy shit, and you are the one who's supposed to be out there and lose your life for this ugly, downright ugly broad, man. And you got no other choice. Because if you don't do according to what she wants you to do, you're going to be on child support. And you living with her. Man, so it's tough, man. This place got to go, man. And Esau set this whole shit up, man. It's Deuteronomy 28:56. It says, a tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son and towards her daughter. Now, let me read this in the NLT, right? Now, in the NLT, check this out. It says, let me, okay, cool. It says, Deuteronomy 28:56, it says, the most tender and delicate woman among you, so delicate she would not so much as touch the ground with her foot, will be selfish towards the husband she loves and towards her own son or daughter, right? And so this explains the attitude that our women have, beginning with the so-called black women. Hispanics women do it as well. So-called native women do it as well. The only reason why the Judite women is the worst because it's the head tribe, and the devastation of Judah was at a much higher, it was just, slightly at a higher level than all the rest of the tribe because it's the head of the snake, basically. All right. So, you're dealing with the so-called black women. You need to understand that there's a wild, rebellious spirit that's on her, and she only worships and she only looks up and she's only subjugated to Edom Esau, the so-called white man. So she may sleep with you, but like I said, and you might even have children. You might even have children with this woman, right? You might even have children with this woman, just like, and again, this is a woman thing. It's not necessarily just because, of course, the curses, but like this is the history of when men don't understand. Let me see. I ain't going too far. Let me see. I know I had it. There you go. This is the history of when men do not understand women. Is that, hey, man, like the scripture tells you, the man's glory is the woman, meaning what the man loves is the woman. So we love our, women. So you're never gonna not like love women. But the scripture tells you that what the woman loves, meaning what she's attached to, is her head. And when it states her head, really it means her feelings, her self. So women are extremely selfish by nature. That's how they survive. So they can't really afford to love you because the minute you get killed, the new conqueror comes in. She gotta be cold, man. She gotta sit there, watch your children get put to death or enslaved, and she has to prepare to be your enemy, to bear your enemy's children, and she would do that. As a man, you can't do that because we just built different, but a woman would do that. Now, that's why as a man, you just understand. Listen, it's not about getting mad and angry at the woman. It's just understanding that you can't worry about the women right now. You got to focus on Edom Esau. Once you take down your enemy, then, you can subjugate your women and they will gladly basically become whatever you want them to be. That's just how it goes. All right. That's just how it goes. Our women are extreme feminists right now, but once they're subjugated and their bodies are changed, all that shit's going to go away, man. All that you're going to look at the so-called black woman like, is this the black woman like that I saw in America just go crazy and just oppress everybody? Like, yeah, it's no longer the same woman. So and we know that day is coming real soon, but it has to be a great humbling first. A lot of them have to be put to death in front of other women so they can see the changes, right? Because women don't change because you said so. Women have to be made to change. Women don't just change just because. They have to be forced into change. All right. That's just, again, good just understanding that. Deuteronomy 28:57, it says, she will hide from them the afterbirth and the new baby she has born, which, again, the afterbirth and the new baby. That's the reason why she always trying to, she's keeping you away from your child, going to Esau system, right, to keep the child away from you. She's trying to get full custody, right? She's battling to get full custody so she can get child support, and she can hurt you as well because she's under the curses. They're under the curses, all right? It says, so that she herself can secretly eat them, all right? And how does she eat them? Now, on a really, really carnal level, when you go back to the old besiege, the women actually ate their children. But spiritually moving forward, how does that manifest in the United States? We know our women don't actually cook. Well, some of them do put them in ovens, but they don't actually cook to eat them. But the way they eat them is through primarily, they abortions. They could do that. That's the kind of way that's one way, and also through the system, right? Because they use their children for child support, and you pay all the child support, and instead of the child support going to the child, she's eating all the money, and then when the child turns 18, there's no money for the child moving forward. So this is what goes on, man. When you lose a war and your enemies are hovering over you as your gods, your woman would never respect you. It says she would have nothing else to eat during the siege and terrible distress that your enemy would inflict on all your towns. All right, so and it floats back to the besiege that happened. All right, so listen, these are the curses. It is what it is, man. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. It says, in the NLT, it says, the Lord says, beautiful Zion is haughty, craning her elegant neck, flirting with her eyes, walking with dainty steps, tinkling her ankle bracelets. So the Lord will send scabs on her heads. That's alopecia, right? So the Lord will send scabs on her head. The Lord will make beautiful Zion bald, right? So that's why the so-called black women primarily, that's why they are where they are when it comes to their hair. Because look at the subtitle. It says, a warning to Jerusalem. Now, when you go to the KJV, the subtitle says Judah's women denounced, right? The so-called black women, West Indian women and Haitian women primarily. So, and they've also committed the biggest treason. It is what it is. Somebody said, well, we know about that. There's always an Israelite that needs to hear this, man. Like I said, I'm not really big on going into the women like that, but once in a while, the spirit jumps and you just got to go, because there's brothers out there that in the truth that's still tripping on women, man. They have great hopes for the women that they're with, but you don't really know. You don't know if you're part of the elect. You hoping and you working hard for it. But once your woman starts acting up, man, and all that, man, just let her go, man. It says, verse 17, so the Lord will send scabs on her head. The Lord will make beautiful Zion bald. And that day of judgment, the Lord will strip away everything that makes her beautiful. Ornaments, headbands, crescent necklaces, earrings, bracelets, and veils, scarves, ankle bracelets, sashes, perfumes, and charms, ring, jewels. Yeah, when our women got picked up, especially from West Africa, man, they were naked, man. They had their titties all out, holding a baby. It was bad. Our women look horrible when they got put in those slave ships, man. It says mirrors, fine linen garments, head ornaments, and shawls. Instead of smelling of sweet perfume, she would stink. All right. Well, she would wear a rope for a sash, and her elegant hair will fall out. Her elegant hair will fall out. She would wear rough burlap instead of rich robes. Yeah, because the thing about when you look at high society, man, the high class outfits is always made for people that are slim overweight people, rich high class society, they don't make clothes for overweight people. All right, they sell their clothes to people of a high class, and for a high class woman usually a woman that's fit. The whole fit feminine and all that. That's just what it is. And the Israelite woman, the black woman, is just not there. Like she hasn't been there, in centuries. The men of the city will be killed with the sword, and her warriors will die in battle. Right, Third World War, so on and so forth. It says the gates of Zion will weep and mourn. The city will be like a ravaged woman, right? Because you're going to have a besiege. When the Civil War kicks in, the National Guard is going to be implemented, is going to be pushed in the streets. Martial law is going to be instituted. The Northern Command is going to be called upon to subdue the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And a lot of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native, you're going to be shipped off to fight this upcoming Third World War that's about to start in the Middle East. And your women that are left over here with their big mouth, let's just say the Northern Command and all these crazy mercenaries, they're going to have their fun with them. I mean, this is just what it is. All right? Don't get in your feelings. This is what happens in war. All right? Now, let's flip it just a little bit. We're going to close out with some good stuff, man, because, you kind of go in and, some people get their feelings hurt, so you got to be balanced, so let's be balanced. Ecclesiasticus 26. And let's read just a little bit, man, of what we should be looking for in a so-called good woman, because there's really no such thing as a good woman, a decent, tolerable woman in these days. All right, because you got to understand it's a matter of seasons. Ecclesiasticus 26 and 1, it says, "Blessed is the man that has a virtuous wife, for the number of her days shall be double." Right? And not to say that there's no virtuous sisters, it's just they're few and far between. The reality is, my people shall be willing to dare that power. The Israelite man, for the most part, is cleansed through the word and through the threatenings and the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. The Israelite woman, however, is not cleansed through just threats. She has to literally see blood and death and guts and people's heads roll. She has to see open executions. That's the reason. That's one of the main reasons why we had open. The ancient world had open executions. Is really to frighten the women from committing adultery and all this other craziness. That's why you had open executions. You took away open executions, it's just like, yeah, man, whatever. It says, "A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord." Right. So for the ones of us, man, listen, if the Lord ain't gave your wife on this season, it's not a super great feeling, but you have to overcome that. And if you have experience with women, you would understand eventually that it's best for you to just not put your mind into that, just focus on the word and to the best of your ability. And, whenever you get time to do a little something, do what you can, But I'll never be the one that said, well, don't deal with women, because it's a lot that you will learn about the scriptures dealing with women. If you don't deal with women at any point while in this truth, there's just certain things you're not going to be able to understand, even when it comes to the dynamic between us, the spiritual woman to Yahweh Shai, and so on and so forth. It just don't get caught up in that, in the woman, all right? Use her and use your experience with the woman for greater understanding, because that's kind of what they are right now. They're not really wives. They're just basically tools to be used for greater understanding, if you understand what I'm saying. So let's keep going. It says, verse 4, "Whether a man be rich or poor, if he have a good heart towards the Lord, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance." Let me see. Let's skip. Verse 7, "An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that has hold of her is as though he held a scorpion." Yeah. Like that dude, his baby mother, man, she had an evil look. She stunk like death. And I just felt bad for him. Yeah, I felt bad. I feel bad for Jake, man, because I know eventually he's going to crash out for that chick's big mouth. And if you're an Israelite in the truth, man, like I said, we don't crash out for women, man. Just let that boy go, and we keep moving. Verse 10, "If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in keep her in straightly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Right. This is very important. That's one of the reasons why you shouldn't really be having children. I mean, especially daughters, but boys. I mean, because Sexy Red, example, Sexy Red and Glorilla, these are daughters, shameless. And the thing about women is that one of the things you understand, like the reason why women have to be subjugated and kept in control in this, is because women will always make the bad decisions when they're not told what to do. 9 times out of 10, they're going to make the bad choices. And then later on, they're going to want to rectify it by trying to make the right choices, but it'll be too late. And that's why you're starting to realize now a lot of these old broads realizing they make bad decisions, because women always, when they're young, they always make the bad decisions. It's like they're attracted to the wicked nature and to just evil shit. So they got to make those bad decisions, but they cannot recover later on. So, you got to know these things. Verse 11, watch over an impudent eye and marvel not if she trespass against thee. Right, so. And we had a lot of women trespass against us, but it is what it is. Let me see. Verse 20. Verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefast will fear the Lord. All right. And the women that do fear the Lord, they really fear the Lord through the men of the Lord. All right. Because Yahushua not dealing with women directly. He's dealing with the men. And if a woman is out there without a man, it's not that Yahushua is dealing with her. If she knows of Yahushua, it's because she's listening to the prophets. So because she has faith in the prophets, therefore Yahushua is dealing with her through the prophets. But Yahushua is not directly dealing with no woman. All right. That's just the reality of it. All right. So, yeah. I mean, that's about it, man. Yeah, the race. Ooh, all right, cool. Let me go to 19. It says, my son, keep the flower of thine age sound and give not thy strength to strangers. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed, if you know what that means, trusting in the goodness of thy stock. All right. So thy race, which thou leavest, shall be magnified, while your legacy, having the confidence of their good descent. Right. So the women that are out here right now in Babylon, the great whore, like I stated before, and I've said this, man, for you to believe that Babylon the great whore, a land of harlots, spiritually, for you to believe that this land is going to produce wives, that a land of harlots is going to produce wives, is extremely foolish. But again, we're going to stop right here, man. I don't want to go any longer, but that was just something I want to just share with y'all brothers, man. Like, if you have, issues with women, man, like, man, just cut them off, let them go. Like I said, it's not just the Israelite woman who does this. Every woman that gets, if you get taken down, regardless of nation, the woman is going to turn on you, man. That's just how it is. All right, so with that, I'm going to say, Kal Halam La Yahweh Shemal Shah, double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, and Shalom and salutation to all you sincere Akim. Across the four winds, pushing this truth with sincerity of heart, and the few sisters that do listen and that do follow the men of the Lord and trust in Yahweh Shemal.